Anyway, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order.
McMurphy.
Here.
Poe.
Present.
Slater.
Here.
Tucker.
Here. Hi, guys.
Who's absent? Decker, Lynn.
Fine. Me. In your agenda, the meetings from our last September 25th meeting. Guess that's correct.
Yes, it was a special.
Yeah.
You guys act like you didn't get these ahead of time.
Yeah, I've read through that. Motion, we accept those.
I'll second that.
Motion by Poe, second by Tucker. Poe.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
McMurphy.
Yes.
Slater.
Yes. Item 4 is approval of financials to date. If anybody has any questions, we'll have Sonia answer.
It's actually as of November 30th, sorry. You guys got your packets early, so this is on November 30th.
No questions, I'll take a motion to approve.
I'll make that.
Second.
Motion by Murphy, second by Poe. McMurphy?
Yes.
Poe?
Yes.
Slater?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Item 5 is update and possible action regarding the status of current goals and objectives for FY 18 and 19. Sonia?
This is just a realignment if there is anything else that we feel as a board that we should be looking towards or putting our efforts towards. We have a scope that we focus on is primarily infrastructure and industry recruitment. We try and stay out of the retail stuff. That's mainly done by the local people. I'm gonna say, I have had some working with Freedom West on doing some stuff to the downtown, and then the city of Alva has asked for some assistance on some grant stuff that we're gonna maybe try and help them find some grant money for some projects that they're doing. We collaborated with the Winoka Industrial Authority and retained jobs down there with the Winoka Treatment Center, because that was going to be about 16 jobs, I think. So
It was a big deal for that community.
It
I mean, I
was.
don't know if people really knew about it. It wasn't in the news, but the
And-
treatment center was shut down for a day. Or going.
longer than, yeah, well, yeah.
It potentially would have been for everything.
Yep.
Well, I heard about it this morning. I don't know, is this a time or a place? I'd like to know how you did it. I didn't ask this morning. I mean, what did you guys do?
Well, worked with, like I said, the Winoka attorney, Bryce Kennedy, knew of this counseling firm in Enid. And like I said, we were potentially hunting for money and was going to come back to the Industrial Authority for some money.
Basically,
But Winoka was able to.
from my understanding, and Sonia didn't tell me this, but Sonia connected the dots when nobody else had figured out how to connect them. It didn't really take us putting money in it. There were already things out there to do, but nobody realized those existed, so she put them all together.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
We're
just curious.
Just
I mean,
resources to help them get things coordinated. And now they may come to us if they look at doing an expansion because they're full now.
yeah.
And that's a good problem to have.
It's kind of a proactive approach. I mean,
Yeah.
we got the message that they were closing and really no idea. And so I guess I say proactive because everybody could have just turned their head and let it
Right.
run down the creek. but
Right.
Taking the approach that it was 16 jobs plus and a service to the community, the school, all those involved, it was, worth fighting for.
Well, I was,
No, yeah.
it's a good thing.
You
Somebody
bet.
needs to be commended for it, and I
I'm
was
gonna tell you,
just,
the city of Winoka stepped up and the Winoka Industrial Authority, and they worked together. So that was a very good thing. They did that. So they are to be commended. They did a good job of keeping that in their community.
In terms of our goals and objectives, and that's a perfect example, we really do try to stay out of, you guys know,
Right.
out of retail. It's more job creation, more industrial,
Right.
more that type of the
Well,
house
right.
versus.
I guess that's why I think that was important, because we, think about development of things, but sometimes forget the retention that goes on.
Yeah.
So that's, I guess the goals and objectives is kind of where I think that plays in. If that's not part of our goals and objectives, I think it should be that we not only increase that, but also maintain what we currently have and work to. So.
And I guess I'll say, I kind of feel like, I said earlier that we focus more on industry and infrastructure. However, in working with that with Winoka, that they've lost their grocery store. And so I'm trying to work with them on filling that need. So I'm kind of stepping over the line there, but from what our goals and objectives are, but that's something that I see that community really needs to keep. And with this board's permission, I'm going to keep going down that path.
right.
So,
And you get outside of our Alva community in Woods County, you get into Freedom and you get into Winoka, they have less resources there in the retail on those things.
Right.
So we get involved in more community vitalization and existence type things. So
Right.
that's, Freedom in their convenience store and grocery store and some of those things we try to assist if we can.
so I guess that's really what I wanted to update you on there. I don't foresee it changing anything or our focus. but
What
now
are
we
the
gotta-
prospects on getting that grocery store open again?
There's one in the
One
works.
in the works, but
And to be honest with you, the one that's in the works, they really can't work on more than another one until they see where this one's going, in my opinion. I mean, it's.
true.
They can't do what?
Well, I mean, they probably can't work on anything else until they see if this is gonna happen. I mean, it's far enough in the process that.
Oh, you mean they can't explore other options, so
Yeah.
this is a yay or a
Yay
nay?
or a nay, yeah.
Okay. So there is something in the works, so
Yeah.
that's the main thing.
Yep. So, I guess that's just really for your guys' knowledge that
Right.
I'm
Well,
stepping over the line there, and we've been talking to Dollar General. That's been for a couple of years now
Right.
and it's looking, I don't know, we're taking that avenue again, but again, that's a Winoka community and not here. So, just for your knowledge, we're stepping over a little bit there. For our goals and objectives, I don't see anything really changing other than that.
Okay. Any other questions or comments on, or there's not any kind of vote required, but any kind of questions or anything else? Okay. Item 6 is the Woods County Industrial Development Authority update.
I guess the update from that would be the incubator building in Winoka that we partnered with the Industrial Authority and Northwest Technology Center. Alan has a client in there. And they're prompt, Johnny on the spot, on time. That's working well.
It's gets me wondered, I mean, it's similar like the Jayhawk that we had in there. It's a oilfield service company, I mean, not service, but there's a little bit of retail to it, but it's also a service company in terms of doing maybe some pump repair and things like that, and also parts and servicing that industry, I guess you would say, supply.
And we're getting some calls for buildings. I talked to my board this morning about buildings. And I'll just tell you, because Randy's on my board from this morning, that they had reached out to Alan as well. So we're both kind of trying to help that. But if there are any buildings you're aware of, I am getting calls. Alan's getting calls. I mean, it would be good to know of a vacant inventory in our communities. So,
It's kind of interesting because 6 months ago I knew of 5 of them that were empty. And now, I mean, those ones have an occupant in them, so.
What is, and I should ask this morning, what is the status out here on the buildings out there? Are they all being used?
The industrial park?
Yeah.
I have a call into FM to see which of his are available, if any. I know that Richard's are full, and the one that the industrial authority, the electric company was in, I believe they're getting ready to vacate it. There's another building out there, a gentleman from Garvin County owns that, Richard told me this morning was vacant.
Okay.
So
There is a few out there.
I'm trying to get an inventory of that out there.
Okay.
The activity you see, is it energy sector related?
The mix is,
It really is.
most, I would say,
In some way, shape, or form,
Yes.
there's a tie.
maybe not
probably.
a direct, deal, but yeah.
I had bad news with the Brown Shoe Fit closing in Alba. And our board inquired about if there was anything we could do to help with that, which I talked to the person here. I haven't reached out to their executive branch in Iowa, but here again, that's kind of, so we don't want to overstep our boundaries either. So I said I would check on that. I have a tie to the former manager and see how connected he is, if there was something that we could do.
Does Brown's own that store? Do they lease that store? Do you know who owns that?
Do not. Was it you that asked if it was connected to Woodward?
No.
Or was that Richard? I think maybe it was
Probably
Richard to
Richard.
the Woodward store. That was the same people. So anyway, I'll do some check there. Can we keep going?
Yep.
Northwest Oklahoma Alliance. They had a meeting recently. I believe I sent you guys the PowerPoint. It was on the medical marijuana stuff. We had them come here, and Charlotte did, talk to our executive business council and talk about the laws and the issues that our legislators are going to be facing in session this upcoming year, trying to fix everything that's taken place. So when they have their meetings, I'll send you updates. They will have a legislative event again. We do not have a date yet, but it'll be probably the end of March, 1st of April. New business, really, I don't have any new business. Announcements, I'll tell you, Dr. Decker and I attended a Connect 2018. It's Oklahoma's Rural Development Conference and Workshop put on by the Oklahoma Department of Commerce. We did that last week. And a lot of their information was on tax increment financing and on other like Main Street programs. And then there was a couple of things that they talked about that I hadn't heard of before, which may work for our downtown and tourism aspect. One was the Tourism Development Act, and then there wasn't, and what did they call it? Was it ART, the Art Development Act? Anyway, the Tourism Development Act, I don't know how many of you have been downtown Oklahoma City recently, but that was used to put in the 21C Hotel in the Arts District. It's behind Jones Assembly, where Jones Ford used to be. Now that's called Jones Assembly. That's a really neat place. Richard brought up this morning that, I mean, it's really sad that it's such a neat place and there's no place to park, but those funds were used there, and they're also being used to renovate the First National Center downtown. That's where the Department of Tourism used to be located. So there's an option. I'm going to see how we can utilize those funds. maybe. There was a lot of talk about opportunity zones, and just in case somebody asks you, because that's the popular thing out there, opportunity zones, there is not an opportunity zone anywhere near us. So we do not qualify in that. Woods County, Alfalfa County, no.
And an opportunity zone is what?
There's a federal designation and a state designation. And to be honest on that, there's just some different financing options, and it's primarily for lower income, poverty. There's more in the eastern side of the state than there's not hardly anything west of 35 and north of I-40. There's just a small, there might be a track or two. And it is done by actual tracts of land. So that there is nothing that... They really stressed about planning for the 2020 census and the importance of that, and how we need to educate everybody on why they need that information and why that is so important. Because when we go after funding, if we don't have accurate census information, I mean, if people don't contribute and give that information to them, we're missing out on funding opportunities. So I know nobody likes the census, but it's very important for us to be able to find money to do infrastructure and projects within our communities. So help educate everybody to complete the census. That would be very beneficial. If you want, you can go to, since you asked on opportunity zones, you can go to McGaffey and Taft's website, and there's a free webinar that discusses opportunity zones, but like I said, there's not one in our area, so doesn't qualify.
You might have to watch it and report back to us.
Okay. We are discussing maybe trying to get our Main Street program going again, but that's in the research phase.
Well, any word on the OG&E line going through, that they're updating or adding, and all this work out here, south of town?
I think it's getting pretty close to happening, to being, I know they're gonna unload that big transformer down here and come through Alva with it and go out there to it. And I don't know, I guess I haven't paid a whole lot of attention. I think they ran the lines, haven't they?
Yeah, they got out here like they're crossing the highway.
They're doing that now.
Looks like they're doing that now. I don't know. They've got, had work going on out there. So then the other thing is any news or updates on the wind in Woods County, if that's moving forward. Alan, have you heard anything on
It's
it
slow today.
yet? Yeah.
Last I heard that the two projects that they bought right away forward, come through the southern part, that they had, the wind company, I think, had offers to, basically that Trade Winds puts that together, then they sell it to another company, and they had offers. I don't know that they accepted any, don't know how much they were or anything else, but I think that's the first good news on that front. If you're in favor of it, there's been in quite a while.
Still some talk about
I
it.
thought they had the east one, the southeast one already sold.
Yes.
Okay. That may have fell through with legislative deals. That
I
becomes
think that was a huge issue when that battle over, all the taxes and whatnot existed. I think there was
Slowed it up a bunch.
that thing has a mixed bag of, that wind energy deal is a mixed bag. There's been a lot of things not good that have been corrected. Not here, but I mean in other places, Grant and Kay County still, and I guess that got resolved.
It's just you never know quite what's all the real information and what's factual and what's not, so. All right, anything else?
I don't think so.
Motion to adjourn?